Hey guys, did a little cleaning. Just getting ready for this. Trying to paint these cores, but yeah, I'll move all this stuff out and clean the floor and everything good, and we'll get this thing ready for some paint. Hopefully soon. Yeah, it's kind of nice to be able to move around in here a little without tripping over everything. I mean, some of the stuff I don't have a choice because, you know, it's my car parts and stuff, but other than that, yeah. So, alright, I'll bring you back when I get something going. Hey guys, I thought I'd share something with you real quick. I'm basically color sanding this to get the nibs out. De-nibbing is what I'm doing actually. And I told you guys last video or so before, I use this little, this is a really hard block. It's made by Eagle Abrasives. Anyway, they have D-nib blocks and all that kind of stuff, but I like this. The D-nib ones are metal and they're sharp. They're, I don't know, you could dig too deep if you're not careful. But that's not what I was going to talk to you about. I was going to basically share with you a tip on de-nibbing. And remember I told you how to know if you're an expert at something? Well, you screw up enough at it that you get to where you figure it out and then you're an expert. So I could safely say I'm an expert at this because I screwed up a whole lot of shit when I was at the body shop. And this is one of the things that I screwed up. So I had a hood and it had nibs here and there in it. Well, when you take your block and you're de-nibbing that, you want that block to be flat, okay? And you want the smallest area you can get. So if you want to use that side of the block or whatever, fine. But make sure it stays flat. So when you're rubbing it, you go in several different directions, just like you're doing whatever. And you can come back with your, wherever I did with it, get your little squeegee and basically wipe it dry, which this is too wet now. So you can see where your nib was. What you don't want to do is tip the block. And when I say that, I'm saying basically like this, if you can see that. Don't do that. Don't go on the edge of it. Always make sure it's perfectly flat. You want to stay on the same plane. Okay, you don't want to tip that up, because what I ended up doing was I had a nib, which is a dirt, I don't know why they call it a nib, but it's a piece of dirt basically in the clear. And I had tipped it up and I just sat there and just dug, and when I was done, it looked fine. It was all dull and whatever. I kept going. So I did this whole hood like that. I just tipped it up and dug. When I was done, I buffed across it, and as you looked across it, it looked like hail dents all over the hood where I had dug into that clear. So you can literally dent your clear by digging into it like that. So you don't ever want to tip your block up. So get you the smallest block you can, just a little small area like that, knock the nib down. I've seen guys use razor blades. You can do whatever you want to do. But regardless, don't dig into your clear coat, because you'll I ended up completely destroying that hood. It was done. It was painted, ready to go on the customer's car and done. And I completely destroyed it with all the digging little pits in it. Yeah, the owner come over and was just like, "Oh my God!" And I'm like, "Yeah, sorry, I didn't know I wasn't supposed to tip the block up." I learned, the problem I had learning at that shop is I learned everything the hard way. He gave very little instruction. He gave more when I screwed something up. "Oh, well, you're not supposed to do it that way. You're supposed to do it." It's like he thought I knew already, which I had, when I went there, I had no clue. I had zero clue about paint and bodywork. So I had to learn everything by screwing shit up. And had he just said, "Hey, when you're de-nibbing this, don't ever tip the block up. Always stay flat like I'm showing you guys," I could have saved him a lot of money. I mean, he could have saved him a lot of money by doing that. But instead, he let me screw shit up. And then, you know, I felt like a dickhead. and he probably thought I was a dickhead, but I'm like, that's why I'm here, is to learn, and you're teaching me, so teach me. Don't let me screw something up and then go, oh, you weren't supposed to do it that way. Man, that's a lose-lose situation. And don't get me wrong, I learned a lot from the guy, but again, I had to screw a lot of shit up in order to learn. Because it was always like, oh, well, I didn't know you didn't know. Well, dude, I don't know shit. I'm walking in here green. I've never done anything but wax the car. You know, painted and, you know, body worked and de-nibbed and polished and buffed and all that. I've never done any of that stuff. So, yeah, take it from me. Keep your block flat. That goes on pretty much anything. Anything you're doing, keep your block flat. The only time you're ever going to tip anything up might be a DA if you put a patch of filler and you're just feathering the edges. You just want to knock those down a little bit, but then you're going to chunk that and you're going to go back over with flat block if you want it flat. So I'm going to hit this area here. You can see there's just nibs all over the place. My goal is to get it to look like this. And I still have some nibs over here. I need to still just the little edges. You can see just little shiny spots, and that's all that is. It's just little tiny shiny spots where you just didn't quite get down all the way as far as you needed to go. And this little block here is phenomenal. I love it. Probably one of the best nib blocks I've ever used. We didn't have these at the shop. Like I said, I learned this from a guy on YouTube that was using it. Took care of most of those. So we're going to hit this area here. I really need a fresh piece of paper probably, but the problem with these is you can see here something's already been bolted down to that, so it's knocked the paint off there. And that's just the way it is. I mean, you can only do so much when you're bolting something down to this. But again, don't tip your block. Make sure it's nice and flat. Go several different directions. I mean, ultimately you don't have to, but I do. It doesn't make or break this because I'm repainting it, re-clearing it, and all that. So, but yeah, we're just trying to get those little dirt specks out of there. And you also don't want to burn through your clear, so stay off your corners like this. If you sit and go over that corner, you're going to burn right on through it, and in a quick way, I can promise you. Again, ask me how I know. Everything I know, I've learned the hard way, for sure. And that'll cost you a repaint if it's something on the outside of the car. Also, when you hear people say they're color sanding their clear to get it flat, this is what they're talking about. You can see this area, it's like a little orange peely. You're trying to get that completely flat, just as flat as you can possibly get it on a car that you're like an older muscle car. Now, on a new car, you actually want that peel, but this is not a new car, so. I said this is probably the hardest thing I've ever had to color sand because of all these little holes. Because if I run over that hole, it'll take it all. It'll take the clear and paint completely off of it, which I'm going to repaint it anyway because I learned the hard way. So. You can see all that shiny's going away, and where I haven't hit the shiny, still got a couple of dirt specks in there. And on that contour, I'm just rolling that, just like you would on anything else. Roll it. Now, this is just my way. Doesn't mean it's the right way. It's just my way. So, all the haters out there that have a better way, make a video. Because I would love to watch the right way to do this, and by so many freaking experts out there. God damn, everybody's an expert. I'm sure they're thinking, I think I'm an expert. I'm becoming an expert because I've screwed up a lot of shit. Remember how I told you to know if you're an expert or not. How many freaking mistakes you've made. It's like Edison and the light bulb. They said how many times he failed at the light bulb. Finally he got it. That's how we learn. Failure. If that'll focus in, you'll start to see some little half moon shiny spots. You know, I don't know if that's going to focus or not. But like right here, if that'll show that, just some little, see those little shiny half moon looking things? Okay, that's still what's left over your nib, so I didn't go far enough. I gotta rub on that a little bit more to get those out. And again, you got this is a fine line thing, because you get to rubbing too much, you're going through that clear, and like I said, then you're done. So but from what I was taught, this is what you want, is this smooth. And now if you're doing this on a regular car, you only want to do a really small spot. Say the nib's right there, you just want to hit that little spot right there. Because if you sit and do this like I'm doing on this, you take your peel away, which is not what you want on the newer cars. Most of you guys don't care about the newer stuff, so just throwing that out there. Yeah, I think my paper's, I'm pretty much just rubbing on it because I like rubbing on it, I guess. Doesn't everybody like rubbing on it because they like rubbing on it? In my experience, that's been the case. Alright, so that's it for now. See ya. Shit! Oh my gosh. Oh, wear your arms out quick. Alright. Video is going to be 2 hours and 15 minutes long. So I'm going to cut it there. We will paint this tomorrow, I hope. All right, well, we're all prepped for tomorrow. I'm going to let the dust settle in here and into the floor. Hopefully, I don't know how it's going to work. The bad thing is that with that thing kicking on, and it will kick on tonight, but I'll set it off tomorrow. We'll see how it works. I've got a kill switch up there that I just shut the whole thing off. Anyway, so Kevin, you wanted to see, at one point you wanted to see these the cups. This is what I use. It's because I don't paint that often. I imagine they're pretty pricey if you had to, do it all the time, every day, whatever. I don't know. I know there's some people use 3M. They've got several different brands out there. I use these. I really like them. He was wanting to know how I painted upside down because I was painting on one of my cars upside down. Well, it's because these basically are vacuum. They compress basically, and so this seals it. And these are my 2 Iwata LPH 400s. It's what I use to paint. I've used them for both paint and clear on both of them. I originally bought one for paint and then one for clear, and then you know how that goes. Sometimes I paint and clear with both of them, or I've had one kind of mess up. I had one of them rebuilt. I think it was this one here, and so this one probably needs rebuilt. But okay, so yeah, I was going to show you this real quick. Let me get this stand. I got this area cleaned out pretty well. All I got to do is wet the floor down. So let's see what we can do here. All right, so how this system works is you got the outside liner, the internal liner, and then you've got the lid. Don't forget that. You dump that over without the lid and it's going to pour your paint all over the floor. Again, ask me how I know. Pour a little bit in here. The only problem I have with these is you're going to lose an ounce or two of paint if you do it upside down. What I end up having to do is flip it back over, and I'll show you here in a second. You put this on, seal it down, put this on, then you take your gun, you put it in these little guys here. You got to buy this adapter. That's all you have to have is this little adapter for whatever gun you have. And then basically, just like that. And you can flip it up. Like I said, don't forget. Now, I don't have very much in there, so let me see what I've got here. Good one. Hopefully that'll show up decently enough. So you hook up. I've got my gun set where I want it, and you can spray like this, or do like this until it comes to, until this actually, and you'll watch this thing go up. See it? Forcing that paint up so that it's clear. So here's what I'm saying. It's not coming out because there's not very much. You have to have a little bit more paint in there. So what ends up happening is you have to kick it back over, hold this, fill that back up. Now you paint it. So you really can only paint upside down if your cup is, you've got at least 2 ounces left in there, otherwise it'll run out of it. You're going to paint upside down, do it when your cup is full. You guys have a good one.